Hi everyone, I am Kasie from Books and Stuff, and welcome to my new channel. This is going to be a Wednesday read where I plan on every Wednesday telling you what I'm reading for the week and then what I'm probably going to read through the weekends. And then I will have hauls and maybe some book reviews and TBRs and, the usual booktube stuff. So let's get into the books I am currently reading for this week. So I'm currently reading four, which is a lot more than I normally do. I'm normally a one book at a time person, but this time I'm reading four. Well, three at a time. I finished one. So the first book that I'm reading is O Pioneers by Willa Cather. I am actually reading this with my mom, so we're reading it kind of slow over 3 weeks. So we have been reading it in 30-page sections. So we have one last section to read. But I'm really liking it so far. It takes place in Nebraska. It's about this girl, and you see her grow into a woman, and about her farming, and yeah, it's really good. I grew up in Nebraska, so when they're describing the land and everything, I can really picture it. The next book that I'm reading is Sarah Dessen's Once and For All. Sarah Dessen is actually my favorite author, and I went to a book signing of hers she did in Chapel Hill about 2 weeks ago, and so it's actually personalized to me. I don't know why you would want to see this, but I will show it to you. I went with my little sister, and it was really fun to see Sarah talk, and especially in her hometown, like her husband and her daughter and some of her friends were there, so it was really neat. It was more casual than some of the other book signings I've been to. This book, Once and For All, it's about a girl who works in the wedding industry, and she previously had a boyfriend who passed away. That's not a spoiler, that's in the dust jacket. And then now it's kind of her learning how to fall in love again. It's really interesting the way it's written because it'll do a couple chapters in present day and then it'll go back for a chapter and show how she fell in love with her previous boyfriend. So that's really interesting. It's really tearing me between the two love interests. I guess if her old boyfriend is really a love interest. Because I like him so much, I kind of don't want her to get with this new guy, but obviously, like, you have to move on after someone passes away. So it's much different than her other books I've read of hers. Kind of almost a little bit deeper. And Sarah Dessen normally writes about pretty deep things. Like, she doesn't really shy away from things like rape or alcohol or like parent neglect or things like that. So that's really interesting. I'm really enjoying that. Then the last two books that I'm reading or have read were audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks when I'm at work, so I can normally get in like 6 hours of audiobook a day. I have just a boring desk job, so the one I actually finished today was Things We Know by Heart by Jessie Kirby, and I have the physical copy of this as well. Was this good? Yeah, it was. If you've ever read a Jessie Kirby book, it was kind of what you kind of expect from YA contemporary. It was good. It was also about a girl whose boyfriend had died, so I'm really into that issue apparently because I'm reading two books back to back about it. Jessie Kirby's writing, I kind of like it, but then I feel like it's also not that good. Like, I want to like her stuff and like the ideas that she writes about. The plots I really like, but then the actual execution is sometimes just kind of very stereotypical and fantastical in the way that it could never really happen in real life. Things We Know by Heart is about a girl whose her boyfriend, and again these aren't spoilers, her boyfriend passes away tragically, and then his organs are donated, so she goes and finds who has his heart, and then, I mean, this is a spoiler, but then of course they fall in love because it's YA. Is that gonna happen in real life? No. So that, I mean, I'm glad that I only listened to the audio tape, and only committed, 4 hours to it. If I would have read it and committed, 9 or 10 hours to it, I probably would have been even more PO'd about it. So after I finished that, I started the audiobook of The Art of Fielding. Again, I have the physical copy of it. This book has always really intimidated me. It's 505 pages, so I wanted to do the audiobook version of it. It is by Chad Harbach. This takes place over at a college, and it's about a baseball team, and specifically about the shortstop, and one of his pitches goes awry, and then it's kind of the effect of that. So I'm just where I'm at currently. His pitch has just gone awry, so we're kind of learning about that. The president of the university, he's kind of a main character. There's another baseball player that's a main character, so you're kind of learning about all their relationships. I'm only about 3 hours into the audiobook, which is probably, 150 pages. And it's good. I'm liking it. I'm actually really liking it. So I'm eager to get to work tomorrow to listen to more of it. And then, so those are the books that I'm currently reading. Now I'm going to talk about the books once I finish these that I'm going to read for the rest of the week. I think I'll get done with The Art of Fielding before Friday, since it's the audiobook. The audiobook's only about 16 hours, and I'm listening to it at 1.5 speed. That's the highest you could go on the app I'm listening to. So I'll finish that. I'll finish O Pioneers this weekend. And then I don't know how far I'll get on Sarah Dessen's. I've been reading it really slow because I kind of want to savor it. I'm about halfway. So I assume I'll finish it by Sunday. So 2 other books I also want to get to are The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. I have been wanting to read more classics this year, and this is a good way to get them in. It's only 125 pages, and the book I have has pretty big font and spaced out really weird. So I think it's gonna go by really fast once I read it. And then the other book I borrowed. This is one of my sister's favorite books, so I told her I would read it. It is P.S. I Like You by Kasie West. I've never read a Kasie West before, but I had started reading it. I'm on page 58, and it's okay. It's about this girl writes a note in school, and then it gets answered by someone, a boy, and then she has an arch enemy who's also a boy who I'm gonna take a guess and is probably the note writer. This book seems even more, it seems very stereotypical YA. And I really like YA contemporary, but I don't normally like books like this. I like more of a Sarah Dessen, Jenny Han, Morgan Matson, those where it's kind of a little bit deeper kind of YA book. But those 2 books are the books I want to get to this week on top of my others, and I think it'll be doable. I don't know. I'll probably do a June wrap up and then a July TBR, so I'll have to let you guys know. But thank you for watching my first video. Like I said, I'll have a book haul coming up real soon. I'll have my June wrap up, July TBR. I may want to do some readathons. Those have always kind of interested me. So then I may do some vlog style readathons. I'm not quite sure, but I'm really excited to be part of booktube. So please subscribe, leave a comment if you want, and thank you. Have a great day.